Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Beyond the Case, which is a podcast where global leaders from the Harvard Business School's OPM program join in a personal capacity and share the real decisions, failures, and mental models that go behind building enduring companies. I have a very special guest today. My guest is Isabelle Andrieu. Isabelle, thank you so much for joining us. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Zoe, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm Isabelle. I'm French by name. Was raised in France. I live in Italy though since my early age. 22 years old, I came to Italy. I'm the co-founder of a translation company that does AI combined with human linguists, and I'm also CEO of Pi School, that is a company that helps company implement AI in their processes. So I am a mom of three kids, 16, 14, and a 7-year-old.
Wonderful. You have your hands full, I can tell, being CEO at work and also at home. So you're working on two different businesses. Translated is a translation company, and then you mentioned you have an AI company. I'm guessing Translated is the company you started first. That's
Yes,
yeah.
it is the mother company of the whole ecosystem. It started as a love story. I met my husband, who's a computer geek and a physician, back then at the university when we were in France. I'm a linguist myself, so I'm passionate about languages. We stayed together as a couple. We met and we fell in love back then in 1998. And then when I finished my studies, I said, okay, let's give a chance to this story. I'm going to move to Italy because he was Italian. Our first trip as a couple was in Nepal. I told my mom, hey, I'm going to go to Nepal for a 3 weeks holiday with my new Italian boyfriend. And she said, you're not going to go with a new Italian boyfriend alone. Go and bring your brother. So I went to Nepal to do this trip with him. And after that, I moved to Italy with my suitcases. I arrived at the Rome rail station with my 2 suitcases, and he said, oh, you're doing for real. So I established myself in Rome, beautiful city, loved it. But I struggled a lot finding a nice job. You know, after university, you are full of hope and wishes for your professional life. And it was not that easy because at that time, 26 years ago, there weren't many opportunities for foreigners. So I ended up in a company that was very far away, where we had decided to create our nest. We barely see each other. It didn't really make sense because I left my entire family to go and stay with him. So at some point after 9 months, we say, okay, doesn't really make sense. Let's do something together. Let's take the most out of our skills. I'm a linguist. You're passionate about computers. Let's do a translation business. Why a translation business? Ask me why. I'm a linguist. We struggled a bit when I moved to Italy with, all the documents that we need to translate. So translation was something that we had in common. And we were very lucky because it was the beginning of the internet bubble. And we saw that as a huge opportunity. Fresh from the university, we didn't know anything about marketing. But we thought it would have been a great way to exchange services with the word. So we started. We bought the domain name for $100, translated.net at the time, and then we had the com. And we started, like not knowing really how to do it, but really with our strengths. And little by little, we were 2 people in our living room in front of the sea. We had our own little apartment. It grew very well. And the characteristic of Translated was that we used AI since the very beginning. So how do you grow a business with 2 people using, leveraging AI to implement it in your workflow and to make you more reliable, more efficient? So it's a combination of AI and linguists. We have a database today that is more than 500,000 of linguists ranked, ready to be used. We basically work with 25,000 people, 25,000 professional translators every year. We work with small, medium enterprises and large corporates. Airbnb is my client, Nike is my client, Uber, SpaceX. All these people, we help them open new markets through languages. So it's all implemented in their systems. So that's the main company. At some point in 2006, 2008, we wanted to diversify the business. We started hosting startups in our own offices. Here in Rome, we have beautiful villas that we converted in offices. When we started our entrepreneurial journey, we really wanted to make it very special because of our previous experiences as workers that were not very fancy, not very sexy, where the use was not at the core of what you were doing, not much opportunities to grow. So we really wanted to make it special. What we did when the company was a little bit more financially sustainable, we bought beautiful villas in a very green area in Rome that we converted into offices. And it's a very nice ecosystem with, we have all facilities for people to thrive. We have the swimming pool, we have the gym, everything is made properly for them to be concentrated on their work, but to also find the joy and what they need to really thrive and express their potential. At some point, we decided to host other entrepreneurs, other startups, and to also invest in it. We chose these startups. AI was something that we understood because we were using AI since 1999. We thought, okay, we can invest in startups that use AI. This is something we understand. It doesn't matter the vertical, but AI is the driver. So the fil rouge was AI. We were basically hosting entrepreneurs from the Latium area, from Italy, and became the first incubator in Rome. And little by little, the ecosystem was growing. We had 350 people combining translated and PyCampus, we called it. And today, PyCampus is no more an incubator, but we converted it into a venture fund. It's a private venture fund. We have 65 investments in startups using AI through different fields, not only in Italy, but worldwide. One of the great investments that we made is Boom Supersonic. It's the new Concorde that's going to fly in, I think it's 2027. They're going to open to the commercial market. And
And I think
they,
United just placed a very big order with them.
yes. Did you hear about them? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and they are going to fly from London to New York in 2.5 hours or something like that. Very short. It's the new Concorde. We are super proud because it was, I think, the second round that we invested with Richard Branson.
Right.
Super, super nice. So we hope going to be a big success. PyCampus is the incubator that became a venture fund. This ecosystem with all these entrepreneurs, lots of clients coming in, lots of investors visiting and understanding what Translated was doing and all these startups were doing, lots of events that we organized. People were coming to us asking, oh, you are basically super involved in AI for languages. You invest in AI. I need something with AI. Can you help us? And at that time, we were super focused on languages, so we couldn't really help them. But we thought, okay, maybe there's an opportunity to do something. And on the other hand, we had all these startups that were struggling a bit, seeking for prepared engineers in AI. At that time, 10 years ago, there were not so many engineers prepared. So we said, okay. So there's a request for engineers. There's a request for more AI. What can we do? So basically we opened Pi School. This is a spin-off of Pi Campus. And what Pi School does, and I'm the CEO of that we do research in applied AI for the European Space Agency, for the European Commission. So it's a 2-3 year program that we do with these people. We help also companies that approach us that need to inject AI in their ecosystem, and they have a pain that they want to resolve with AI. And a program of 8 weeks, we do a proof of concept for them. How we do it is that we recruit engineers from all over the world that want to have a practical AI experience. They want to have a hands-on experience, and they are mentored by our own team. And in 8 weeks, they learn more how to do AI. It's an 8-week program, super fast prototyping that we do. and it's cutting edge, state of the art, always the latest technology that is available on the market.
Going back to the founding moment for Translated, you said you and your boyfriend decided to start this as a database or as a.
So yeah, it was basically the first internet-based translation company. So we said, okay, there were no services at that time that you would upload your document to cop- copy and paste your document, know exactly how much would cost a translation and in how much time it would be delivered. Now its LLM is super immediate, so that in 1999, I can tell you, you had to request for a price request in 2 or 3 days. So it was super disruptive, and we attracted lots of clients.
How did you go about getting the capital to build that? Was that personal savings? Did you raise money? Did you take a loan from the bank?
We didn't know absolutely anything about venture capital. That's why we started the venture fund later on, because as two young entrepreneurs, we didn't know anything about, and it was not developed in Italy. So it was our own money. We just bought the domain name and started. And it was very funny the way we started, with a lot of creativity, I can tell you. We said, okay, there's this opportunity, internet, and we have the opportunity to sell translations to the world. How is it going to work? How can we make us known in this ecosystem? So what are people searching on the internet? That question we asked, and we saw that people at that time were searching for the rings for you, the ringtones for your cell phones, or news about The Simpsons or Pamela Anderson. On the other hand, we had the searching engines at that time that were not very powerful. You had to scroll lots of pages to search for the right content that you were willing to have. We said, okay, maybe we can create one page that we called 1,000 free services, that talks about a specific topic people are searching for. We put that on the very first page in the search engines, with a lot of traffic coming. We put the banner of Translated in the middle, and it became the most popular visited website, called 1,000 Free Services, in Italy. More than 50 million unique users per month, something like this. It was amazing. That website became super popular, and it was talking about, as I said, The Simpsons, ringtones, everything that people were searching. We would put the banner in the middle from Translated. So somehow clients were calling us, asking for translations. These were the first clients. And an advertising company from the US, DoubleClick, saw that we had so much traffic and called us, said, "Hey, we want to buy the space." So this is how we found the money to invest in Translated,
Double click
basically.
is what ended up being Google AdWords, correct?
So DoubleClick acquired the space, and then we started buying some advertisement later on Google AdWords.
In the early stages of your career, what did risk mean to you? And how has your definition of risk evolved today?
I think it's super interesting because, first of all, we had no safety net. The entire our entire future plans for a living relied on this transition company. I mean, our business. He had to work. Otherwise, we couldn't pay the rent. We couldn't stay together. The entire future was relying on the now. Resilience was something that we really practiced, because I remember whenever the algorithm would change, we lost the opportunity to be first on these web pages, and we would have lost our rent. We would have lost the opportunity to be paid by the advertisement companies. So lots of resilience, lots of courage and patience, because it takes a long time. I mean, now the company it's a successful company, even though large language models, everything, but we're still in a very good shape and we see the future very positively. And I can talk about this. It takes a long time, like 26 years to create a good ecosystem. I didn't think that I would become an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur, and he basically also pushed me to start this journey. And I remember when I quit my secure job, I said, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna start doing this business in languages. What do you think?" He said, "Go, my girl." That was the most. I'm my arms are it feels super. Uh, it's a very good memory for me, and it pushed me really to start and to be courageous. When I started this journey, I never thought the impact that it could have for the people that are working in my company, for 25,000 translators all over the world. They are like our employees. Whatever you do, whatever you say, it has an impact on your entire ecosystem. You have to have a sense of responsibility to do things well. That's why we are very conscious about what we do and how we do it, and the experience we give to every single person that cross our our journey.
Has your definition of risk changed today now that you're a mother, a leader, and also an entrepreneur for multiple ventures?
That's a good question. Don't tell my kids, but my first company is like my baby. The risk. You have to balance everything. There is risk in doing what we do as entrepreneurs. You always take risk every day. It can't be all planned. It's all a roller coaster of things happening, and it's never stable. And we like it like that. There's something that we say in our company, nothing ever happens, to make joke of the rhythm that we have every day. There are always something happening, and it's super good. You have to take risks. I'm taking a lot of risk. I think even more than normal. We started an adventure in 2023, selling across the globe with no technology, and that was risky. I'm taking risk every single day, also with my kids. It's tricky. You have to find the balance with everything that you do, and find the balance also with the risk that you take. Otherwise, life is boring.
You started a company with your spouse. Do you have any advice for couples that are considering building a business together?
It's a beautiful journey, but it's a tough journey. We complement each other like no others. I is the visionary. Marco is the visionary person. I'm very grounded. I'm very into the action and doing the things. So I think that was the best to start the company with, the two of us and the two characteristics of us. It is tough because you end up talking a lot more about the work at home as well, and you barely have time, but you have to find this time for yourself and your spouse. I don't know if I have found the right recipe, honestly. For me, it's not easy to separate, and I'm not capable of separating the two things, private life and business, where we end up always talking about it. It's good to have a co-founder, first of all, and that you understand very well because it's your spouse. I think it gives you strength, courage, because you are not alone on this journey, and you share a lot about it. Uh, it's all together. The family, the business, it's all together.
What are some core principles which have guided your decisions over the years?
The core principles, we basically use them. We express them in our company, and we use them on a daily basis. Hard work, being kind, doing good, making an impact, resilience, patience, all these things, and believing in people. As two young entrepreneurs, how can you not believe in the youth? We started with nothing. We grew the business together. You have to trust that when we hosted the startups, it was a very good ecosystem because we had the opportunity to first share our know-how as a, let's say, grown-up company with the people that had a lot of ideas and were super vibrant and super creative. That was a gift, basically, to have the opportunity to be surrounded with creative people, young people. And I think The more diverse is your ecosystem, the more you thrive. And it's super helpful because you cannot hire always the same people. You have to hire diverse people because they make you think differently.
You mentioned that you had undertaken a journey crossing an ocean without technology. What inspired you to do that? What did you learn about yourself during this journey?
We do a combination of AI and linguists and human linguists. That's the core of what Translated does. And we've been using AI since 1999. It was not sexy at all when we started. It wasn't called AI, but we were just using technology. And at some point, it became super sexy. People were talking about AI, disruption that AI would have made. There was a lot of interest on AI in 2022, early 20s. And people were forgetting about the essence of what makes us humans, you know? People were super concentrated on the technology, but where they were just forgetting about what makes us as we are. The other thing is that we heard about this regatta that was called the Ocean Globe Race. That for the 50th anniversary of the regatta, they had decided to reiterate the course with no technology, as you had done it in 1973. So no GPS, no weather forecast, nothing, just the human courage, the ocean, and the boat. When we first heard about it, we saw it as an analogy to show to the world that without technology, humans can start something incredible that they don't know about, and uh, and yeah, and achieve it. So that was completely crazy. We say we do a lot of technology, but what makes us human is really super important. So start this journey. I'm not a sailor. My husband is not a sailor. We bought one of the most beautiful boats, a Swan 65. That is the Mercedes of all the boats. We searched for the boats that had won the early editions of the Ocean Globe Race, and we said, "Oh, that's the boat." Our boat was the boat owned by Claire Francis, the first female skipper to have completed the round the world race. So that was also beautiful to have the boat of the first female leader. And we just decided to participate. And how do you start a project that is so ambitious you don't know anything about? You surround yourself with people that know more about it. So we basically um, launched international call to our community of translators, clients, to take part of this adventure. And 1,500 people answered back saying that they were willing to participate from the language industry, from the sailing industry. Consider that. So we had to select a team of 27 people, 3 of each crew. So imagine we had a crew of 10 people. 3 of them were professionals. The other 7 were not non-professionals. So it was really a journey to learn and to teach people how to to do a round the world race. One of the most adventurous. Imagine that people died in the first and the second edition. So it was no joke. We were very naive to think that we could do it. People were coming to us telling us that we were crazy, and because we were crazy, they really wanted to help us. They said, "Oh, you're gonna die. I need to help you."
How did you prepare for that? I have so many questions, so I'm going to put them all together. How did you
Yeah.
prepare for that? How long did the journey take? Do you feel people are inherently good where they wanted to help you when they thought you were going on this crazy journey?
We selected 1,500 people, and we registered to the regatta. And, in Italy, people start talking, who are these unknown people that registered for this crazy regatta with no technology? Imagine you have to cross oceans. It's a 4-leg race starting from the UK to South Africa, then from South Africa to New Zealand, from New Zealand crossing Cape Horn, going back to Punta del Este in Uruguay, and then from Uruguay going back to Europe. So it's 160 days at sea. no weather forecast, no GPS, just a radio and a safety lines, the human courage and the ocean. These 1,500 people, we trained them for more than 2 years, doing some regattas. We were surrounded by exceptional professionals that taught us how to do it. One is Paul Caillard, who's a champion. He won more than once the America's Cup. He did the Ocean Globe race at least once. We talked to him about the project, and he basically said that he really needed to help us. He was our mentor. We trained the people, and we saw basically over the weekend we had these half day or 5 days trainings. You can see from attitude who are the people that you want on board. We didn't train for skills. We selected from attitude because the skills you can gain over the trainings, but the attitude is what makes the crew exceptional. How you behave with people, how you cope with them. So the perfect team was selected like that. So 27 people, and the crew was made of 10. The 2 years, the first day came September 10th, 2023, where we started the first leg, Southampton to Cape Town. We were considered the underdog of the situation because we came from nowhere, not from from the sailing industry. So people were watching us. And you know what happened? After more than 32 days, we won the first leg. But people started telling us, "Hey, this is luck. You're gonna see when you end up in 1,000 oceans with 10 meters waves, the wind that is super speedy." And they were wrong because the Southern Ocean is no joke. The second leg we started, and what happened? We won again by 5.5 days ahead of everyone. And at that point, there were no boats that had won such a large advantage to the others. We started thinking that there was an opportunity to win the entire race. And then the third leg was very special because we had to cross Cape Horn. Cape Horn is very famous for the ocean crossing together, very huge waves, winds that are very dangerous, and sailors that sink into that sea. Um, and my husband was on board. So we crossed Cape Horn in February 2024 without not many problems. It was mild to us. But after 3 days, we had a huge storm hitting us, and the boat capsized 4 times. Not once, but 4 times, meaning that the mast went underwater 4 times. And it took 3 minutes to have the boat back. The keel is 30 tons, so it takes a lot to get it back in surface. After 4 times, you get used to it. The first time it's super scary. The fourth time, it seems something that usual. Unfortunately, after the boat was hit it so hard, we had a massive crack in the hull, meaning that the water was pouring in. And what do? You are in the middle of the ocean. We are 10 people on board. We believe in humans. We believe in humans is what we put on the side of our boats. We thrive for our lives. We want to stay safe. You are 4.5 days far from everywhere with nothing, like no helicopter can come to rescue you. No one. What do? We had to take the very hard decision to abandon the race and to reach nearest land, that was the Falkland Islands. The Falkland Islands were 3.5 days. After you touch land, you are out of the race. This is the rule. No opportunity to be part of this journey. We cried all the way down, because after you train for 2.5 years, it stops like this. It was very painful. We ended up in the Falkland Islands, and then something very strange happened. We started thinking, what if? What if we repair the boat, because we still have one more leg to show to everyone that we can rebuild ourselves and be ready for the last leg. So that's basically what it happened. We in the Falkland Islands, you have to imagine you cannot repair the boat very well because there's no lift. Basically, it's very rudimentary what you find there. But we found a cargo ship that could help us lift the boat. We repair it. After 10 days, a miracle happened. We were back on track to be ready for the fourth leg. At that point, the team was exhausted because they didn't have any opportunity to rest, while the other competitors had rested for 10 days. We're back on track at the very last minute. I'm boarding on the boat on that fourth leg, so freshly prepared, and I have to mentor all my crew that is completely devastated from tiredness. So we start in a very bad shape in ninth position, and then after 5 days, we're in fifth position, and then in third, in second, and after 10 days, we're back in pole position. So after 10 days, we lead again the entire regatta.
Bravo.
So super, but we don't really know because we don't have visibility on it. We had a one call per week to the organizers. You cannot call your family. You work 24 hours. The boat is not stopping, so the crew is separated into two watches, and you basically cover the 24-hour clock. After you are 25 days at sea, you start thinking about the arrival and what's going to happen, and eat specific food on the boat. So you start thinking, oh, what is it that I'm going to eat when I arrive? Who's going to come to welcome me? You start imagining how are you going to experience these final days. We were just 8 days before the arrival, and unfortunately, Mother Nature called again. We had a massive storm hitting the boat again, and I was on board. It was 2 a.m. in the night. We capsized, and I thought, okay, I'm going to die. I saw the captain helming with the water coming on the boat. I was not lifted with the safety line on the boat, unfortunately. And my colleague was over me, so was not underwater, but half underwater. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna die. I'm seeing the water. I was like, I'm gonna breathe now, and then it's gonna be the end. You do some training for these moments. So I felt the courage, but I was really, really scared. It lasted 2 minutes and the boat went up again. I saw the captain very worried. He was worried because unfortunately the crack was open again and water was pouring very, very much. So it was the end. It was the second time that this happened. And, it's like a deja vu. We had experienced that before. You only have 8 days till the final line. So we decided to end up to Madeira next to Portugal to leave the boat there. At that point, the crew went away to England, to the UK. We had an international crew. They departed to their families after 160 days. They didn't see their family for a year, so they were over. For them, they had finished everything. The night before we arrived, I fell on the boat and I broke my knee. My ligament, the meniscus, everything was broken. And I stayed like that in pain before we arrived in Madeira. I went straight to Rome to have my surgery. I had my surgery, and my husband stayed in the harbor trying to repair, to just finish these 8 days. He was alone because everyone went back home. But after 5 days, Esgim, this Turkish young sailor who became the first female sailor to do around the world in Turkey, she called my husband and she said, "What are you doing, Marco? I'm in Madeira trying to repair the boat. But do you think it can be repaired?" He said, "Yes, I told you." And then silence. When there's silence, there's always an opportunity. And she said, "Okay, if you are repairing the boat, I'm coming with you." And after her, Darren came,
Mhm.
everybody came back, all these young people, all these young sailors came back, and the professionals also as well, because they saw these young people coming. So they said, okay, I need to come. The crew was back again to finish these last 7 days, 8 days. And I can assure you that even though there were no trophy, nothing to win, that was the best thing to do. When we arrived in UK, it was as if we had won everything, and they granted us with the spirit of the OGR, so a special prize for us for this.
I wanted to ask you, you were away from civilization and communication for about 6 months while you took the journey. Did you worry about how business was going on? You said you could not talk to family either, and you have
Yeah.
young kids.
Um, my so we none my husband or I were together on the boat. First of all, because either him or myself were running the business. So you have to imagine it's a 30 to 40 days leg. Then you rest and prepare the boat for the other leg. Overall, it's 160 days at sea with some stops. Okay,
Not
so
all
when
together. Mhm.
not all together. So it's a month, more than a month away. Of course, it was tricky, but I think it helped the people also to take some leadership. Yes, it was tricky, especially in this moment where we have the LMs, all the technology coming in a company like ours. But for us, it was the most rewarding, even commercial experience. You know, it was a marketing promotion as well for the company
And
because
you feel
when
your
you
leadership style has changed since this journey?
well, I'm not afraid. I'm not scared anymore. I can say that. Yeah, when you are cut from the world, it's a very special experience. Basically, we don't know anymore how it looks like because we are constantly with our phones, hearing from news from all over the world. We are overstimulated every day. When you are cut from that, the human essence comes out, and there's this connection with nature that is very deep, this connection with the people that is super pure. You're absolutely present. You live in the moment. I had a lot of time for myself. I could read many, many books. I could interact with people on a very deep level. These people, even though they live far away, some in Turkey, in UK, in the US, in Germany, they are like my family. You nurture a very special relationship with these people because you face challenges, you face sadness, you face joy, you face everything at a deeper level.
What motivated you to join Harvard Business School, the OPM program?
First of all, I think it was a dream of mine. I always saw Harvard as a very special place for education. I was not, no, a very special student. I didn't have very high grades, so I really idolized a little bit Harvard, I would say. And when you grow your business on your own, you need to take on education. You learn by doing. I love to learn by doing. Learning through education is another thing that gives you more grounded notions, I think. That's the reason why I decided to take it.
What has been one takeaway from OPM that you think you still revisit every week or every day?
First of all, I registered very late, so I had to catch up with the cases on a daily basis. And I actually um, understood that I could do even more than what I currently do in my business in terms of workload, because I woke up every day at 4 to read the cases, and then we had our inner circle at 7 in the morning till 8:30. So it was a lot of work, mental work, and I thought, okay, I can carry a lot because that was exhausting, but at the end, I made it, so I'm very proud. Many, many things. I really loved Professor Das courses. I think it was one of the best. I like the cases that I can use for my company, like the Oberoi case, this hotel that offers a very special experience. I think this is something that I need to work on in my company because the service is something that we need to very focus more, especially now with AI. If you offer a very special service to your clients, that makes the difference. I'm trying to to bring as much as I can. I'm now on the journey to work on culture more,
Mhm.
to redefine what our culture is. This is going to be my 2026, say, homework from Harvard, working on culture.
What do you hope your children take away from watching you build and lead?
They are not interested right now because they are in the teenagehood, and I'm hoping them to be courageous as we are, and to just not let things down when it's easy to let them down. I'm really doing what I do also for my kids because I want to be an example. I want to be a leader that they refer to. Being courageous. Life is not easy, and you need to build your muscles on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
If you could speak to your younger self before your entrepreneurial journey began, what would you say?
Don't be scared. Express yourself. What you don't say today, it's a lost opportunity. Raise your voice, do what you can, and it's going to be all right. Life is here for you.
Is there any book which has left an impression on you?
Stillness Speaks from Eckhart Tolle. It basically talks about being present every single moment and enjoying everything that you are doing. I think it's super important nowadays. There's a lot of possibilities that you get burned with all the activities that we are currently doing, and living the current moment helps you be grounded and helps you enjoy what you're doing, even though it seems super chaotic.
Isabel, you've been very, very forthcoming and we've appreciated this conversation a lot. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again in OPM Unit 2.
Absolutely. We'll
Yeah.
see each other. Thank you so much.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.